I'm excited.
I'm happy that you're happy.
Exactly, and I'm being the real me. I'm like, I'm gonna have Drake lines with my jewel. That's what's up.
Bye.
Abort mission. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Like, I'm like, I'm that person. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Kym L.
And how old are you?
I'm 32, which always surprises people. They're always like, you're 32? I'm like, kind of a compliment, kind of not.
I definitely thought you were younger when I first met you.
Yeah,
so yeah, for
yeah.
sure. So Kym, who are you on a soul level?
On a soul level.
Mm-hmm.
On a soul level. Can
Yes.
you explain to me more what that means?
So like underneath like what you do for a living, how old you are, like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to say like besides your like ethnicity and background because that may be like really important to you, but just underneath all the like material worldly stuff, like as take away your body, like as a soul inside, like who are you or what do you feel on a day-to-day basis?
I would say that on a day-to-day basis, my primary feelings are extreme panic, intense anxiety, fear of abandonment and rejection, mixed with extreme confidence and with a very goal-oriented lifestyle. I accomplish my goals. I think that the fear can be motivating as much as it can be crippling. But if I had to describe myself in one word on a soul level, it would be anxious, very anxious.
Is there anything that's going on right now, like in the world or your personal life, or anything that's like happened in the past that's kind of made you this person?
Absolutely. So right now, you know, it's a very strange thing to be in 2019 and be 32 and getting divorced and starting over when I haven't dated in over 5 years and now everybody meets online and like I've never even downloaded Tinder. I don't even know how to use these apps. I had Bumble for 5 days and deleted it because I got so overwhelmed. So that is certainly going on. I will tell you that my background is one that is always very surprising to people because, to be very frank and honest, which is what this interview is about, which I very much appreciate, when people see me, particularly if my tattoos are covered, they think white, blonde, probably had it easy. I grew up on welfare, extremely poor, parents who, everyone's a human, so you can't fault them for their flaws, but they were very flawed, and they did not provide support then, and they don't provide support now. So never having a safety net has certainly made me a very anxious person. Grander scheme of things, world-wise, it's not a popular opinion. Don't care. I keep up with politics as much as I feel I need to. Mostly I think it's all propaganda at this point. There's a lot of very, very terrible things going on in the world, but typically what I see is recycled stories again and again. It's all marketing. I work in marketing. I knew Trump was gonna win, so I really don't let that stuff get to me at all.
How did you know he was gonna win? Was it just like a gut feeling, or you understood like the... I
am very much an empath and empathetic, and I feel like one of the biggest problems that we have, like I'm a very liberal person. I'm very liberal fiscally, you know, any sort of like lifestyle things, like I am liberal 150%. I knew he was gonna win because name recognition. I took Psychology 101. They said you can know nothing about a person. If the name is the most popular, that's the person who's gonna win. I also managed a large staff of, I'm an elder millennial, okay? I managed a large staff of young millennials who disliked the other candidate for being a politician. Now to me, I was like, dang, well don't you want like a plumber to be a plumber?
Right.
I'm confused by that. And then we also had a third person in the mix who divided the party, loved his ideas, but I'm a pragmatist, And I would love to ride the rails of Mr. Rogers, imagination station, but you can't change the infrastructure of an entire government the way that he wanted to.
Yeah.
We also live in a culture where people are literally voting for Harambe.
Yeah.
They're wasting their vote.
Yes. Seriously.
So I absolutely knew that Trump was going to win. Nobody believed me. No, from day one, I was like, Trump's going to win. Now, I voted, did not vote for Trump, didn't vote for Harambe. I used my vote. It's important to vote. But I knew that he was going to win because people will see him, despite the fact that he has bankrupted businesses 7 times. I think of him as a very misguided soul, to put it lightly. But there's enough misinformation and there's enough name recognition. Like, we've seen him on The Apprentice, we've seen him on The Simpsons, we've been seeing him since the early 90s, late 80s. I knew he was going to win because the lowest common denominator is what people need to play to, and I think that's one of the biggest problems with liberals is they always speak to a high level instead of speaking to people who you really need to reach. So I was not at all surprised by his win, and I think he will be reelected, sadly. Unless we get some real great contender in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was my next question, so you actually answered it.
Yeah, I do think he will be reelected.
That's so terrifying.
And I'm a talker, so just know.
No,
edit down, whatever. But my current position is actually, I would say, more than half Native Chinese. Not one of them has said to me, Trump's not going to win again. They all say, don't worry, it's only going to be another 6 years. They're like, it could be worse. You could have a president for life.
True.
Hey. Which is very true. And I think it's a very realistic standard to look at. Unless we have somebody, and I am hoping for this, I don't want him to win at all. And I will go out and I will vote. I will do it. Don't waste your vote because that you think posting on Facebook or Instagram that you wrote in some nonsense is going to make a difference. Change the system from within the system we work. We already have set in place. That's how I feel. But I thought it was very interesting that these people who, China is enmeshed in any sort of economy that matters. Not one of them thinks he's not going to be reelected. And they're all like, it's okay. It's only 6 years. No big deal. You could have it worse. We didn't even get sunlight. I'm like,
my God.
What? I was like, ha ha ha. Oh, you're serious. Okay. I'm like, okay. Okay.
I'm going to give you 3 categories, and I want you to tell me which one means the most to you and which means the least to you, and you can mix and match these if you want. So the first category of things is love, sex, and relationships.
Okay.
The next category is society, culture, and politics. And the next is spirituality and or religion. So which kind of takes the front seat in your life and which kind of falls to the wayside? Or what of those things mean the most to you?
Okay. So I can say that spirituality and religion is absolutely not on my list at all.
Okay.
Not a spiritual person, not a religious person.
Okay.
I truly believe that when you die, you're just dead in the ground. I don't think that's a bad thing. Circle of life. I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
I think it's actually something that has come to the forefront now where people are like, well, I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual. That's fine. Be spiritual. I have no problem with that. But I think that I just need more proof.
Yeah.
You can't tell me faith. Don't say faith.
Do you think that there's something bigger than us? Like,
Absolutely.
Or do you feel like, okay.
Absolutely. I think there's something bigger than us. I think that it comes down to mathematics that we don't understand yet. The same way that we thought that we could, dance and have rain come for the different cycles. We just have not reached a level of understanding that we need to not need these idols and icons. But I don't care if people feel this way. I don't push my beliefs on people, and if they don't push them on me, it's cool. I actually think it's a very interesting conversation. But spirituality and religion have literally no aspect in my life at all.
Okay.
And then the other two categories were what?
Love, sex, and relationships, and then the other one was society, culture, politics.
Okay, so that's kind of hard. So society, culture, and politics is going to be, if religion is here, that was going to be my second.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that society, culture, and politics is a never-ending stream of just churning over and over again. I think that, my favorite costume designer ever, Edith Head, she did a lot of Audrey Hepburn movies.
Mm-hmm.
She literally stole her designs from her students.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and she wore the same thing every day. You need to set your own trends. I think that politics at this point has certainly become a ruse. Look at what we've become.
Yeah.
It's bad, guys. It's bad. So I really try to just be myself and have my own moral compass and my own value system to which I ascribe. I think that you need to operate within the realm of society and culture, be aware of culture, but understand that culture is going to continuously repeat. It's going to continuously repeat and recycle. And there's a great Jim Jarmusch quote where, you can look it up. But to paraphrase it, it's nothing is original. Nothing is original. Everything is stolen. That's okay. It's just called inspiration. Unless you're doing an exact replication of something,
right?
Don't get all upset about, hey, I shot an abandoned building and now somebody else is shooting an abandoned building. That was my idea. I'm like, it really wasn't. It really wasn't, and that's okay. Put your own spin on it. And then at the top of my list, it would be what impacts me the most. Mm-hmm. Love, sex, and relationships.
Right.
I am, going through a divorce as a 32-year-old woman. Definitely never saw myself getting married, ever. And it's just an entirely different playing field now, particularly because I'm very enmeshed in the social media world, and who knows what these lights are doing to me, but typically people don't think I look 32. So you might have somebody who you're having a great conversation with, and then they're like, I'm 21. And I'm like,
bye.
Abort mission. I can't do that. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, so you're at school? That's cool. I'm contributing to my 401k. What's up?
Yeah.
And that is what impacts me the most in my everyday life. I'm very much somebody who is confused by this new culture, particularly because I have so many connections through Instagram. And you can have people, I have people who I've met from 16 to over 65. But these younger folks, which you can tell that I'm not one of them by saying younger folks, it's a very much hookup culture.
Yeah. Oh my god, I hate it.
I'm like panic music plays. I'm like, this is crazy. This is not what I met my husband at a thrift store. Aww. And it was wonderful. Mm. And, before that, I'm a serial monogamist,
Yeah.
And so for me, it's something where it's very hard to navigate these waters because you don't want to be alone. But I also, again, going back to having my own value system and kind of anchor of morality for myself. It's not towards anyone else. If you want to go out there and you want to, get with people, do your thing, man. It's okay. To each their own. For me, it makes me uncomfortable. It's not something I can do. My body, for me, is very sacred. Something that's shared with people I love.
Same.
And trust.
Yes.
And so this hookup culture, dating people through apps, your girl is confused, okay? But relationships are extremely important to me, and that's where social media has actually been a huge benefit in my life, because particularly women, I've made a lot of female friends through social media and have a great community. I moved from DC to here, already had 30, 40 friends.
Right.
Because we talked for so long. And then, of course, I have a twin sister, so that is exceptionally important to me, even if I'm not very close to the rest of my family. So that would definitely be my ranking of that.
I love that. Okay, I'm gonna get you to draw.
Oh, yay. Love it. Markers.
I'm gonna get you to, I'm sorry, they're so messy. I need like a marker bag. So I need you to pick colors that represent your mood right now,
okay.
you as a person as a whole.
Okay.
You can pick as many colors as you want to.
No problem.
And then I just want you to explain like why you pick the colors that you pick. And you're just gonna draw like all throughout the rest of the interview.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
That's super cool. All right. Is there like a cat? Can I just like
no?
out
Yeah,
already?
You can.
All right, I'm done. So, this is my mood right now because I took the Myers-Briggs. You know, everybody knows what that is. Look it up. 90% extrovert.
Oh.
Very surprising to myself as well. So when I'm interacting with somebody or I'm being filmed, this is my comfort zone for sure. So I feel very up and on and comfortable right now. So this is definitely how I feel right now. I chose the darkest colors I could find for the rest of it because typically, you know, every single day I wake up, I am covered in sweat and in a panic. I wake up panicked every day. I wake up sad every day. And this is not, you know, I'm on Instagram, I'm on social media, but I also feel like there is this wave of people saying that they're depressed and they're sad and they're anxious. And I'm like, are you really though?
Yeah.
Maybe you are.
Right.
That's not saying they're all not.
Mm-hmm.
But this definitely represents, you know, this would be also the way people see me and the way that I really am. People are like, but you're so outgoing and you're such an extrovert and everybody likes you. Even at work, like I'm like, I know the front desk person's name. I know every department's name because I treat everyone as a person because they're all people. So I don't care if you're the janitor, I don't care if you're the CEO, I don't care if you're the president. What do they all have in common? They're a human on the earth. Maybe you should just treat them the same. Thanks. So this is how people would see me. And this is how I feel. I'm very afraid of being alone, being abandoned, rejected, all of that. So this is definitely the dark and stormy of my mind. But right now I'm very happy because I think this is a very cool project and I, you know, don't really ascribe to signs, but again, being a Leo, people are like, oh, Leos love having the camera on them, they love that, and having a project always fills me with a lot of positive energy.
Yes.
For sure. Such a good idea. Wow.
Thank you.
All right, what am I drawing?
You can draw whatever you want.
Okay.
Whatever comes to mind. And then at the end, you're just going to show us what you drew. Okay, so first question. What makes you the most upset? Like, what really, like, pisses you off?
So, I would say what makes me the most upset would be when people who are supposed to be there for you, who are culturally, we are told they're supposed to be there for you, are not there for you. Which I would say definitely describes my family. I don't need to get into like the nitty gritty details of it, which I'm happy to if you want to do follow-up questions for it. Like I said, I'm fine being vulnerable and honest. But the most upset is, you know, your parents are supposed to be the ones who are your source of support. They help you get through things. They help you just kind of navigate your life. And since I was a young child, I was helping them navigate life. I didn't know my dad until I was 12. And I love my mother, but she comes first. She comes first, always. She'd be very upset to hear that. She will be very upset if she sees this. Sorry, Ma. It's okay. It's okay. I still love you. I still love you. But that's the truth. So the most upset that I get is when nothing bothers me more than a phrase like, isn't it sad when you find out that you can't count on your parents? Because I found that out basically from day one. Couldn't count on them, couldn't count on my family. And then also, fuck boys. Fuck that shit. I'm like, what is this culture? What the hell is happening, man?
Yeah, it sucks.
It really sucks.
It sucks really bad. What excites you more than anything?
Creative endeavors, working hard. I always say that if you are being honest and you're giving it 100%, you can't go wrong. A phrase that I got from my ex-husband for sure. He was like, look, Kym, if you're giving it 100% and you're being honest, you really can't go wrong. So that's why, particularly being in Instagram and starting modeling at 30, people are like, what? I also was like, what? But I've always been very socially anxious despite being an extrovert. And this gave me a platform where, I'm very uncomfortable if people are like, let's just like get coffee. I'm like, what are we gonna do though? I don't know. What? I don't know. But having a creative project come to fruition is so satisfying and so like, now not one project that I've ever done, which is not an insult to any of the stylists or photographers or anybody involved, models. I think that this is a good thing. It's a motivating thing. Never is it good enough. I always want it to be better than it is, even though I've worked with so many talented and amazing people. But working on creative projects and having something that you saw in your head come to life is so exciting to me. I've always been very artistically motivated. Everybody always wanted me to be a professional artist, but I kind of think art school's a scam. Sorry. But yeah, that is definitely what excites me the most. That and anytime I get to hang out with my sister.
Does she live here? Or
she does, yeah. She lives.
So that's awesome. So you're close to your sister now. You're closer to her.
Yes.
Distance.
Exactly. So she lives about 20 minutes away from me. We're 32 seconds apart in age. And
are you guys like different? I know sometimes twins are like
we're the
different
same
personality. Oh, okay, that's awesome.
We're the same. We are the same. We're identical twins. And people, particularly parents, don't like to hear this, but the bond between identical twins is closer than any other bond that you can have. Mother and child, father and child.
It makes sense.
Anything. And I've known her for 32 years and 9 months. Nothing makes me feel more at home or excited. I never felt the feeling of loneliness until I was 22 and moved away from her. I would hear people talk about the feeling of loneliness, and my dad would always say loneliness is a killer, and he's right, because it makes people turn to things that they try to alleviate this feeling. And I was like, oh, well, whatever, Dad. But loneliness is a killer.
Yeah.
But nothing makes me more excited than being around her and planning travel with her and just having her close in my life. And I always have a backup. Even if I don't find another partner or have a relationship, I'll never be alone. As much as my family hasn't been there for me, I'll never be alone. I'm very blessed. I don't ascribe to, as we discussed, religion, all of that good stuff, but there was no greater gift given to me than being born an identical twin. Hands down, best thing that ever happened to me.
It's so beautiful. I wish I was a twin.
Literally, I'm like being a twin is the best thing that could ever happen. Having twins, worst thing that could ever happen to you. Because, and this is something my mom always says too, where she's like, I know I really missed out on that like mother-daughter connection because you guys were connected to each other. I was like, true.
Yeah.
True stuff, Mom. Very true stuff. But yeah, having a twin is truly the best, and it makes me really sad when identical twins or fraternal twins, even though you're not like really twins, you're just born at the same time, are not close, or siblings in general are not close.
Yeah.
That is a built-in support system. I don't understand why you would not always try to, even if it's difficult, make those bonds connected. maintain those bonds, you know? Even my dad, who kind of like isn't the best, I text him every day. And, you know, my sister and I talk from like sunrise to sundown. It's the best. It's the best. It really adds to my life. Having her as very close to me again has been just a dream come true.
The next question, and you kind of already touched on this, but it's what are you most afraid of? But I feel like you kind of already touched on it a little bit.
Well, I can still answer.
Okay.
I am definitely most afraid of abandonment. And, you know, I'll never end up alone because I have Cindy or I have my sister. But especially in this day and age, like, somebody can say they're really into you or like you really like them or something's happening, and then they can just like ghost you. They can just straight ghost you. And now, it's something that I've actually talked about before. I'm kind of like, man, it's like everybody works in the CIA, even though they don't, because they got receipts, they got the screenshots, they got that thing. You can't say anything about anybody.
Yeah.
Like used to be in the past. I don't think that you should talk about people behind their back.
Right.
Don't say things that you wouldn't say to their face. But there always is somebody who you have that outlet with, because sometimes you need to vent.
Right.
But now it's like, even if I was venting to somebody, if I have it in a message, who knows what would change in those dynamics. And then they can be like, well, I don't know if I change that.
Yeah.
And so that's always very terrifying. I feel like, you know, I was hanging out with some people who were about 10 years younger than I was, and I was just like, gosh, why is nobody making a decision? Why is nobody like doing anything? And I was like, I think it's because they've grown up in this culture of, since they were little, Facebook existed, Instagram existed, all these things existed. For me, it was like, all right, you can have a conversation on the phone and like nobody's gonna know about it. And even if somebody says like, oh, you said this, it's like your word against hers. Again, best practice, don't talk about people.
Yeah.
Just don't. Say whatever you're gonna say, just say it to them. Mm-hmm. Just say it to them. So that when somebody says, oh, she said this about you, they can be like, yeah, she said it to me too.
Right.
Like, got it.
I know.
But that's very scary. And then just not being able to trust people now, where it's just like people can say whatever they want, but it's hard for me to get my hopes up, particularly about relationships or things like that. My friendships I feel very happy about. I think that I've, at this age, learned how to spot toxic people and be like, seems like you're going through some stuff. I'm gonna be over here.
Right.
Drama-free zone.
Yeah.
We good. But with relationships, you know, especially being a straight woman, like, sorry dudes, but you kinda suck. Yeah. You kinda suck.
A lot. Yeah.
And even the best of them, like,
yeah.
even the best of them, I'm like, I love it. Like, again, my ex-husband, wonderful person, like, wonderful person, wonderful family. We're still on amazing terms. Like, he is fantastic, but we just know that it's not gonna work out. And I've always been a proponent of, like, if you know it's not gonna work out, like, don't let it come to some bad ending where it's like, well, I cheated on you.
Yeah,
or, like,
exactly.
I found someone else. Like, just say, confrontation and communication are the same thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely the fact that everybody has receipts on everybody now, and the fact that people can say whatever they want and then do something else entirely, I feel like there's a lack of inherent trustworthiness in this culture these days. So it's that's very scary to me. True.
If you were a facial expression, what would it be?
Maybe that one. The thoughtful one. Honestly, I think if I was a facial expression, it would just be like boss mode shit. Where it's just like get it done, like.
Yes.
No excuses. I don't like excuses. I don't take excuses. A lot of times people confuse reasons and excuses. I'm like, that's not a reason, that's an excuse. A reason that you're late to work is because you got into a car accident. You got to go to the hospital.
Right.
your parent is actually sick, not your grandmother died 6 times this year. Like, she didn't. An excuse is...
I hate when people... And also, like, don't bring your grandmother, like, into shit like that.
Just don't keep it... Like, just keep your professional and your personal life separate unless you really, truly cannot for whatever the reason is.
Right.
And I think that's also something that's generational, where people think, like, well, I'm really struggling and my boss needs to understand. I'm like, they actually don't. Are they paying you? Do your job. Do your job. So that's, yeah. So I would definitely be probably like, no fucks given. Can I curse?
Yeah, of
okay. I'm like, no fucks given, like, whatever. You know? Like, I'm very loving and accepting of people. I do genuinely care about people's problems and issues, and I'm there for them, but especially coming from the background where I did, where I'm just like, yeah, okay, that sounds like a problem. Yeah, do not care about that. Yeah.
You are an extremely driven person, and it's actually, well, I love it because I, you know, see myself as somebody that's disgustingly driven, and I'll drive myself into the ground. Like,
yeah, literally.
My schedule and like what
Same.
needs to get done, because anytime I'm like just sitting there, I'm like, okay, what? Like,
never happens.
Yeah, like, so with that being said, like, what exactly, since you said you're like a goal-oriented person, so like 10 years, like, what is your ideal? Like, where do you see yourself? Like, what are you kind of aiming for right now?
So that's a great question, and I appreciate that you have such good questions. But I am a very goal-oriented person, and I think it's something where, you know, I never like thought about marriage and thought about kids and like thought about all of that stuff, which is fine. Great goals. 10 years from now, if I'm 42, I want to own property that is passive income. I want to have traveled to at least 10 countries. I want to have a certain set amount that I already have in mind in savings. Contributing a certain amount in 401k. I have my 401k. I want to have a salary. I know what that goal is as well. I'm very career oriented. Right now, I, you know, of course do, you know, Spooky.City stuff, have some brand stuff going on with them. I refuse most brand stuff because it's not really my personal brand. But I have exclusively worked for the past 11 years, woman-owned small businesses. I want to be them. I don't want to own a business, because I know what it's like running a small business.
Okay.
And it sucks. The buck stops with you. You're never off. You're never off. But I would love to be somebody at a very high-ranking level.
Yeah.
In a business that I can actually stand behind, which I definitely can with my current business. My current CEO and president, like recently at our town hall meeting, we went over the numbers and all the normal stuff, and she literally was like, by the way, and I don't know how old she is because she looks young, man, but I would guess she's in her 40s or something. I don't know. The business has been around for 25 years, so at least 40s, I guess.
Yeah.
And she was like, by the way, I took salsa dancing lessons this past, you know, season, so we'll reimburse you if you want to do salsa dancing lessons for the Christmas party. And it was things like that. I want to be a constant learner. I never want to stop learning. Right now, what I do at my job is extremely difficult for me. Being artistically motivated, working in Excel and math is like...
Same.
What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know at all. But like, I will teach myself and I will do that. But no, in 10 years, I want to have property. I want to have a certain amount in savings. I want to have passive income from that property. I'd like to own a house with my sister. And you can see that something that I always don't mention or kind of forget to mention is like a husband or a family and things like that. It's just never been in my sort of goal trajectory.
Yeah.
I don't, if it happens, cool. I can't see myself getting married again. I'm not into kids at all.
That's fair.
Very unattractive to men, let me tell you.
Really?
Very unattractive. I mean, people have literally said to me, that makes you unattractive to me, that you don't like kids. And I'm like, cool story, bro. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's a big, especially like, again,
because you never hear men talking about kids. You always hear women talking about kids.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, they want to plant that seed. They definitely do. They definitely do. And they don't talk about it, or they'll say like, oh, I don't care about kids, it's not important to me. Lo and behold, it definitely is. Which is fine. I think that's great. Like, I think it's a very difficult job.
Very expensive.
I think it's a very hard and expensive job to be a parent. And a good parent is even harder than that. And you can't just throw money at your kids. It doesn't matter what you make. None of that matters. But yeah, it's very interesting because literally, I think that's one of the hardest things that I've encountered in attempting to find another partner. One, I just like didn't want to be disrespectful to my awesome ex and be like, I'm with someone new now, like what? And again, people are like, but you're an Instagram model, it must be like people are throwing themselves at you. I'm like, yeah, I get marriage proposals every day on Instagram, but those people don't know me. Why are you proposing to me? You don't know me.
Yeah.
What? But then when you say you don't want kids, people are like, ever? Are you sure? And I'm like, I was sure at 18, I was sure at 22, sure at 32. Don't want it. Not for me. But yeah, in 10 years, I would like to. Money is a big, which this is certainly unpopular these days to say. Money is a huge motivating factor for me.
Same.
Love money.
Me too.
People who say they don't love money, have it.
That's true.
You say you're not rich, you probably are. Whenever I say to a rich person, you're rich. They're like, well, no, I'm not. I'm like, yeah, you are. And I'm not saying like, okay, your food, your shelter, that's taken care of, and you have like $20 extra. I'm like, you rich. I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, you're living in like downtown DC. You have a beautiful job. You got 2 cars. You're going on a vacation to Italy. You are rich.
Yeah.
You have to understand, first of all, you're born in America. And I will tell you, the only people who ever give me shit about this, white men. White men. They say, I had to work for everything I had. It's not privilege. I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I grew up on welfare. I'm still white. That's a privilege. It's opened doors for me. I've never been pulled over once in my life.
Wow.
Not once. Dead tags. Not pulled over. It's a privilege. Also, my parents didn't even know what the SATs were. I bet these people did. They're like, well, I had to go, like, I worked really hard in school. Oh, really? Because school was an option for you? Except privilege. It doesn't mean that you didn't work hard. It does not mean that you did not work hard. It's very hard. If I was going to these schools after growing up in Broward County and going through the Florida school system, I'd be like, I'm too dumb to be here and I can't do it. Oh no. Oh God. Like, and some people will have all the privilege in the world and still mess it up because they won't work hard.
Right.
But accept the privilege. Just being born in America is a privilege. As much as we are kind of like, ooh, oh God, why? We're not doing the best at not sucking currently, but it's cool. It's cool. But I hope that answered your question. I feel like I went on like a tangent,
it did.
Dude.
I loved it. Yeah.
Tangent.
No, that's fine. It was great. Do you have any weird habits?
Well, weird habits. Okay, so I don't think it's really weird, but it's something that's very much improved my life. Is every morning I will take an ice bath, which most people are like, what the fuck?
What?
Exactly. So I think that it's just something that is It wakes me up during the day. Like, I used to have 9 cups of coffee in the morning. Yikes. No. And I started realizing that having 1 cup of coffee was even spiking my anxiety to a level that I just could not really be okay with. You know, new job, change in life, a bunch of other stuff. Just happens, it's whatever. But so I take ice baths, and I dip my feet in ice and my wrists in ice every morning. And then I would say that my other thing is, which this is like, it's not good. Dandruff. Okay, if you have dandruff, I'm gonna want to scratch your scalp until it bleeds. Okay, just keep it away from me. I saw a baby with cradle cap once and it was so bad, and I was just like, keep that baby away from me. I'm about to crush this baby's head by scratching it. I didn't hurt the baby. The baby's safe. Okay, the baby was safe. But those are my only weird habits. Other than that, I just kind of do my thing. I'm trying to think of my like day to day. I think that people would say it's weird that I mean, most people who aren't in the Instagram world think that Instagram is weird. But other than that, dandruff, ice baths. Most people are not trying to take an ice bath in the morning.
Yeah, no.
At all.
No.
But it really, it's good.
Better than
is
coffee.
It good for you? Is it? I don't know actually, but it's good for me. It helps me out.
As long as it helps you and makes you happy.
Exactly. I'm like, it doesn't make me happy at the time, and then right after, I'm like, nice. That was helpful.
What are you self-conscious about?
Oh my gosh, what am I not self-conscious about? So I'm definitely self-conscious about my age, being an Instagram person. You know, I don't think people notice it because they're young, which is fine, and I'm about that. Like, do your thing. But I am definitely self-conscious about that. It's something that, you know, I think it's certainly better than the alternative, dying.
Right.
Live another year. Hey.
Right.
Pretty cool. We like that.
You made it.
But I'm also very self-conscious about being an extrovert, because a lot of people find it annoying as fuck. I need a lot of attention. I need a lot of feedback. I like interacting with people, and I can tell, you know, even at my workplace, like I have a lot of wonderful work friends. They're beautiful, wonderful people. But I am very self-conscious about like being over the top or too much, and yeah, but also certainly, you know, just kind of being older in a scene where it's dominated by really young people, and then also they're very surprised by my age, and I never lie about it. I'm like, I'm 32, and I'm like, I would not go back to 22 if you paid me all the money in the world. Yes, I would. Give me that money. But so I'm certainly self-conscious about that, and I'm also very, very self-conscious about my appearance. Very self-conscious about it. People, it's actually an interesting dynamic between my identical twin and I, because people would always say things to us like, oh, you're the smart one, you're the fat one, you're the pretty one, I'm like, damn, rude.
Oh my God.
Like, literally, they just feel like because we're twins, you can just say that shit.
That's so crazy.
It's crazy, right? I'm like, no, what do you want me to do? Is like, oh, so you versus this person, like, you're the fat one, you're the dumb one, you're the uglier one. What? So
Did they say that more, like, to equally to both of you, or were they really just targeting one of you? And these
well,
are like
I was always the dumb one. So I'm very, very self-conscious about my math ability, for sure. Now that I work with Excel every day.
Yeah.
It's really bad, especially because I'm working with all these like really smart people, which I love. I've always said, and this was actually some dad wisdom. Thanks, Pops. I know you're never going to see this, but you know, he's been a musician his whole life and stuff, and he's always like, I want to be the least talented person in the room, because if not, I'm not learning.
Sure.
And I always really like that. Because I'm learning every day and all the time. I'm very, very self-conscious about my inability to do math, because I can barely add. It's just true. Okay? And teachers kept telling you that what? You're not going to have a calculator with you all the time?
Phone.
False. 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 You wrong. But also just in my appearance in general, like 32-year-old skin is not going to look like 22-year-old skin. But it's also something that I appreciate beauty so much that it's something where I'm not like comparing myself to 22-year-olds or 19-year-olds. Like, why would I do that? I'm also not comparing myself to like 60-year-olds.
Facts.
And you really, I think because I was constantly compared as a twin and as an identical twin, comparison will kill you. It will kill you. So I try to not let my anxieties, because I'm even in this interview, I'm like, oh, you talk so much, Kym, like you're just blathering on forever.
It's totally fine.
It's something that I do. If it's something that is true about me, just accept it.
Yep.
Don't do that if you're like, I like to murder people. Accept it.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Killing dogs, cool. Accept it. No. Don't
kill the dog.
Don't do it.
Don't kill anything.
No. Sweet baby angel.
I was about to say sweet baby angel.
She's like so adorable. Oh my god, I love you so much. But other than that, I just try not to be too self-conscious or let myself get like go off and on a spiral. But everybody has their things.
Okay, 2 more questions.
Ooh, exciting. You're doing so good.
Thank you. Okay, so second to last, what don't you want to tell people but know you should share because it can help someone else?
Oh, wow. I feel like I'm on hot ones. That's a great question. So what do I not want to tell people, but I should because I think it could help them? Okay, so probably the number one thing that I don't like sharing on a public forum is certainly any of my past drug use, which is all in the past. Heyo. And if you can see it, any of my scarring or self-harm, I don't talk about it because I am a professional person in a very professional industry. But I have shared it previously, and I think that it is extremely helpful for people to know. And I think it's extremely helpful for people to know that, yeah, cool, I get marriage proposals on Instagram. I have 14,000 followers. Cool. That doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. It's okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel bad. And I think that people are not promoting that. They're promoting it when it's Depression Awareness Month, hashtag. Anxiety Awareness Month, hashtag. Boost this post. No. The biggest responses that I've gotten are when I share things that are deeply personal, and I have a close friends list. And I remember posting something the other day where it was like me, like literally crying, singing to a song. And, I thought that it was actually sad because some people definitely reached out and were like really awesome about it, but so many people who watched it did not reach out, and they're afraid to reach out. But then they will talk to other people about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, reach out to those
like
people.
talk to me.
Talk to me. If you saw it or you think about it, or like talk to me. I think that particularly now, because like hey, what's up, Ryan? Like my boss follows me, and things like that. I am more protective of those past things where it's kind of like, all right, that's not a good look, self-harm, and maybe your past substance issues, anxiety, family not being good.
Yeah.
And that's also out of loyalty to my family, whether it's deserved or misplaced or whatever it is. But I know that this was actually the first year ever that I did not do a Father's Day story about like, hey, if your father sucked, like, don't feel bad. It's okay. So I think, but that's what I've been trying to do with Instagram, and kind of since I moved to Richmond, is just be more real. It's just difficult to do when you do have a corporate job and a professional job, because
I think about that too. Like, just even doing this, I'm just like, if my boss sees this and sees it, like, we're all cussing and we're talking about real things.
Exactly.
Like,
literally, and like, even like some of my like the most shocking things and stuff like that, like, there are way more shocking things that I've seen and have happened to me.
Of course.
But again, I don't want my boss to know about it. I don't want my boss's boss to know about it. I don't want it to be something where it's like, okay, you know, the drama of Kym's life is crazy. But I do think that if people would not hold it against you, it would be a really beautiful thing to be able to talk about those things more.
Yes.
And I think that all you can do is just kind of be an advocate for change, a proponent for change, by talking about it any way you can and sort of not really caring what people think.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta care.
To an extent, yeah, because that's your job.
I gotta care about my job.
Yeah.
I don't have to care about a random person on Instagram reaching out with their opinion.
Right.
Don't care. Like, sorry, but that's your opinion. I have my opinion. It's cool. We can all get along. You know, it always surprises me when people reach out and they're like, oh, did you know that you follow this person who did this? And I was like, no, I did not know. I'm following like 2,800 people. I don't know.
Right.
Why do you know?
Right.
You're like looking at my followers like, she's following this person? I'm like, what? But it's just a difficult sort of balance, because people ask me all the time, like, oh, are you going to do Instagram full time? Hell no.
Right, you know.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I like my job.
For sure. And like being in the real world, having something tangible to hold on to.
Exactly.
Because at any moment, Instagram could be like, I think we've made enough money. We're done now. Bye.
We're good. Bye. All
and
your
then
shit's done.
everybody who's just an influencer for a living.
Bye.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to
do? You can't put on your resume that you were an influencer.
Exactly.
For 7 years and marketed Sugar Bear hair gummies. You can't. No matter how much they pay you.
The tea.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know how white those glow mouth guard thingies make your teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're 40, we'll see.
Exactly, and I'm just and that's cool, and like that's why I only do like, you know.
And I respect influencers. I do. You know, I know
too.
a lot of them that are driven AF, but
they are very driven.
But
it is not an easy job.
I just hope that there's other things on the side they are doing as well.
It's kind of like professional athletes, where I'm just kind of like, don't think, or like people who are on reality TV shows, don't think that this is like a cash cow that's never gonna stop giving you some money. Invest it, save it, do it. Don't sell out. Don't do things like I'm doing a sponsored thing right now, but it's because it's like something I'm actually interested in. People would think that I was probably sponsored by a brand called Dead and Detached. I'm not. It's just that I truly all these necklaces are that, by the way. But I truly like the product.
Yeah.
I'll pay for the product. I want to support. I always shop small, always shop thrift, always try to support sustainable fashion. It's okay if you go to Forever 21. I'm not gonna be like, oh, we're not friends, you know, like.
Yeah.
But just do what you can. Do what you can. But yeah, I just think, you know, Instagram, don't get too caught up in the ego of having a following or chasing the numbers, because I will tell you, Instagram is great and I love it, and I love being on Instagram, and it's given me so much in terms of art and creative fulfillment and community. I like my steady paycheck. I like my medical, dental, vision insurance. I like that 401k. I like learning skills on Excel. Have something else. You don't have to do that, but like just have something else too, you know?
Yes.
For sure.
And the last question, what do you have to say to the world?
Be humble. Check yourself. Your opinion, you can have it, doesn't mean you need to share it. I have gotten so many messages. Somebody messaged me the other day. I probably have a marker on my face, but
no, you don't.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Messaged me the other day being like, I have to unfollow you. I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, that's cool. I was like, no problem. But just unfollow me. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You can have an opinion. It doesn't mean and this is something that I've definitely experienced with young people more than people more in my age group. Don't talk shit about people behind their back. Don't think that your opinion, just because you have one, needs to be shared. You can have that opinion, live by it. Your actions are all that are going to represent you.
Yes.
You can say whatever you want. What have you done? Act.
I just love you so much. I'm just such a like get shit doneer. I just love you.
That's how I really feel.
Just no bullshit. Do
no
the
bullshit,
thing.
man.
Stop talking.
Don't
do
talk.
Thing.
Cool story, bro. I put this hashtag out. It's about to save the world. No. Did you contribute money to that? Did you contribute time to it? Act. Act. Don't speak. Speak about your actions afterward. List them on your LinkedIn. Whatever you want to do. I don't care. But act.
Yes.
Have your moral compass and act by it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Show us what you drew.
I drew this. Don't know why.
Oh my god, that is so good.
Is it good? Okay, good.
Oh my god.
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to draw. But it is a lady. She's got a coat on. I feel like it's kind of got like
Look at her like cute hair.
I feel like her hair is pretty cute. I feel like, what is this? Everybody's gonna hate. Oh, Game of Thrones.
Okay, like Arya?
I don't know.
I don't know, back in the day.
I don't know, man. I don't watch Game of Thrones, and I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I'm
No,
sorry
it's fine,
about
it's
it. I just
fine.
don't watch it. Please stop talking to me about it. But drew this gal. I don't know. She's just deep in thought because I was deep in thought throughout
That
this
is
interview.
insane. That is
Thank
so
you.
great.
Thank you so much. Yes, I was supposed to be a fine artist growing up, but then people would put too much pressure on me, and I was like, can't do it. And I also was like, I'm poor, so I can't go to art school because what?
Art school's really expensive.
It really is, and
Yeah.
also you can't really learn that shit on YouTube. Don't do it. Just keep practicing and get yourself out there. Market yourself. Act. Act.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you. This was so much fun.
Oh my
This was so
God.
much fun. I love it. I'll like sign it and date it or something.
Yes, please sign it. Please sign it.
All right. This is Kym in the flesh.